Hey guys, welcome to the last YouTube. Informal for this one, no need to acknowledge it. Just a couple of announcements. I extended the date for the due dates both for a week. So they'll be both due the 13th, for the final and the final paper. That is, of course, unless you are briefing on Sunday, then it's due on Sunday. But if you're doing the final paper, it's due the 13th, and the final is due the 13th as well. I think with everything going on, it's fair that I give you an extra week extension to knock that out. Pardon me. So that's the first announcement. Second announcement, again, as I mentioned, 9 o'clock on Sunday. 9 o'clock on Sunday, the 5th. We'll groups 4, 5, and 6 will brief. We'll do their final briefing. If there's questions or issues, please let me know. So that'll be your briefing, and then what I'm going to attach to the end of it is a job talk. Talk about jobs in the intelligence community, careers in the defense community, how to break in, and everyone's welcome to then. So group 4 will go at 9 o'clock, group 5 will go at 8:30, group 4 will go at 9, group 5 will go at 9:30, group 6 will go at 10, and then we'll have the job talk at 10:30 that Sunday. So please come up online at 10:30 if you are interested in that. So we're wrapping up the course this last week. There's just some optional articles on artificial intelligence. I really want you to just focus these last 2 weeks on your final paper and your final assignment. But what I'm hoping you took away from this course was intelligence as a process. How we get from a requirement or a question all the way to a decision by a policymaker that enhances or mitigates risk or enhances effectiveness, be it in the national security field, law enforcement, or even in the business community. So we talked about all the steps. We talked about where all those steps fail. And I hope you have an understanding that in order for intelligence to be successful, all those steps have to occur in that sequence, from requirements to collection to analysis to decision maker to briefing decision makers to a decision maker by a policymaker, or decision by a policymaker. So we talked about that. We applied those lessons to history. You saw the 9/11 case study, the Iraq WMD case study, Yom Kippur War, Pearl Harbor. And then we moved a little bit to those contemporary issues. We talked about terrorism, mainly how difficult it is, or how the onus is on the counter-terrorist element, and how difficult it is to identify terrorists. And even when you do identify them, we don't live in a world where you can just lock up people based on suspicion, at least in a democratic society. So you saw those case studies, whether it was Fort Hood or the EU, where these people were known on the radar of law enforcement, but there was not enough to do. So I ask you in your final papers, if you're going to choose that topic, how do we solve that problem? What's the issue between, again, when someone is on the radar of law enforcement, but there's not enough to arrest or detain? We then moved into criminal intelligence, and we looked at Boston Marathon as a criminal element or a crime-solving issue. We looked at theories of the fall in crime and how intelligence-led policing is played into that, or if intelligence-led policing is played into it. And then we concluded with the business section. You saw the interview, and we actually asked, okay, how do businesses get a competitive advantage? What information at what time leads to success? And we talked about that in various case studies that you read about. So that was the course in a nutshell. What I also think I hope you learned is some of those soft skills. Writing with detail and succinctness. Briefing, which unfortunately we couldn't do for the first time, but we'll see on this Sunday as well. Those are the soft skills that you need in this program. So I want to thank you again for this course. I want to thank you for a little bit of your flexibility for everything that's happened. I will just say that I like to hold a happy hour in the springtime with the graduating class, and then I invite everyone that is in the program as well. I haven't been able to do that for the last 2 years for obvious reasons, but I'm hoping to do something this spring. Hopefully this new variant that they're talking about won't affect that, but be on the lookout for that as well. And then I'll just wrap up. I'll mention this again on Sunday, but look at me as a resource going forward. I know a lot of people are in this program for an academic experience, knowledge, but I also know that most people are here to advance in their careers and get ahead in one way or another. And I could be a resource for that. So always keep me on your Rolodex. I think you get me as a tuition-paying member of Georgetown. So keep me on your Rolodex. Keep me on if you want to grab coffee when we can in person, or want to grab a drink when we can in person more readily. And we can talk about careers. I've written recommendations for people. I've written done job assistance as well. So look at me as a resource as well. For most of you, I'll see you on Sunday, and for not, I hope to see you guys in a future course.